There are many ways to develop strength for the skills that make calisthenics famous. The problem we can run into as beginners to bodyweight training though is that the landscape is full of survivorship bias, with people teaching the techniques and timelines that work for them as if it will work for everybody, which only causes confusion when you have 3 different experts offering 3 different ways to master a skill, each with their own spin on why their way is the best way, often compounded by a must-do exercise in one tutorial being labeled as trash in a different tutorial. To try and sift through this confusion though, we're going to go through 3 core ways to learn any calisthenics skill, eliminating all of the biases that are typical of calisthenics skill tutorials. But more so than this, we're going to discuss the 3 archetypes that personify these methodologies of training, going through what makes each great and also the pitfalls to avoid with each of them as well. To be clear, to level up in our journey to improving calisthenics, we need to be competent in all of the 3 areas we'll speak about today, but there's usually one of these 3 that we as an individual respond to better than the other 2, and so that is where we should spend the lion's proportion of our time. Let's start with the one that gets the most amount of attention and is probably the least controversial, and it's centered around bent arm strength. Which is strange, right? Calisthenics is largely famous for straight arm skills, and yet bent arm strength is often going to be the intermediary goal between where you are now and where you want to get to. You'll see this when people ask, how many pull-ups do I have to be able to do in order to front lever? Or how many pipe push-ups equate to a handstand? Now let's excuse for a second the fact that these translations are often done as an arbitrary way of us getting a better understanding of skills that are often very difficult for us to get our head around. The fact of the matter is, even if a straight arm skill is our goal, our bent arm strength will be our ceiling. Calisthenics skills are so well known because we deliberately put ourselves in mechanically disadvantageous positions. And so by increasing our bent arm strength, the mechanical advantage position, we can overall increase our straight arm strength, the mechanically disadvantaged position. This is the fundamental idea behind working on the basics. The sort of movements that are so fundamental to bodyweight skill training that training these movements will help give us the best foundations towards working on more advanced exercises. The bent arm strength archetype is somebody who focuses on these bent arm exercises while working towards a skill, even if it's a straight arm skill. Often they will have had an injury which gives them a real appreciation for almost earning the right to train a skill in terms of conditioning, or perhaps they just respond well to the muscle building and conditioning benefits of working on these basic exercises. On the plus side, if this is you, you'll probably find building out that foundation towards working on skills to be extremely easy. That will probably lead to you actually learning the skill far faster. But while working on bent arm strength is a great way to actually build overall strength, ensure you make time to actually try out the skills you eventually want to learn, because having a feel for them is not only motivating towards your training, but will also ensure that we have the right cues in our head when we do come back to our bent arm exercises. We can also take classic bent arm exercises and give them more of a skill focus to help level us up while still working on what we enjoy. And on the point around taking more time to focus on skills, let's talk about the next methodology, which is on static holds. Now this is where our heads go when we think about the more typical calisthenics movements, the static holds that defy gravity and really blow our minds. Whether bent arm or straight arm, beginner or advanced, these static holds really challenge us in ways that few other exercises do, and I think this is the trap. If a static skill is the goal, then it can be very easy to think holding variation of the static should also be the best progression. This actually makes intuitive sense and is often how many of us get into calisthenics training, trying out a skill for the first time, often with a ridiculous amount of bands to assist us. More so than this is that because these static skills are very difficult, we can come away from a workout made entirely of isometrics feeling extremely drained, but having not leveled up our strength as much as we could have. Somebody who fits the static skill archetype responds very well to isometric training. They are often on the lighter side and will find that they can add serious seconds to their hold time very quickly just by going through static progressions. They're also typically one of those really annoying people that picks up skills ridiculously easily. The downside to this though is that it's a very unsustainable way of training. Holding longer and longer statics on increasingly more advanced holds will not only lead to strength plateaus as we hit the ceiling that we mentioned earlier, but will also place a lot of stress on our joints which require conditioning outside of just statics to develop them. There are a couple pitfalls to avoid if you think this calisthenics training archetype is you, but I'll quickly go through the third training method as 2 and 3 are related, and the third method is centered around straight arm dynamic movements. As the name suggests, this is where we have a straight arm skill, but we take it through a wider range of motion. Strength is gained through the range trained, so in theory, we're getting stronger than solely holding the isometric. I mean, here we have an eccentric and a concentric element to the movement, which also makes these movements more favorable for building muscle. The biggest downside to these movements, though, is that they are extremely challenging. They require a high degree of strength, coordination, and proprioceptive awareness, and most people simply won't be able to do them right off the bat. And even if we can do them, these exercises are the sort that will sap a large degree of energy that we will actually need later on in our workouts. Think of the straight arm dynamic archetype as the big brother to the static skill archetype. And if straight arm dynamics are your bag, then you will likely find yourself developing the strength to build towards really advanced skills quite easily. And you'll also likely be able to transition between skills to create impressive flows. The pitfalls with the static skill archetype and the straight arm dynamic archetype is this lack of focus on conditioning. Overexposure to either static skills or constant straight arm dynamics places a higher degree of strain on our elbows, wrists, and shoulders. If we aren't giving ourselves enough time to recover, this is the very definition of overuse, and so injuries are likely to follow. What we essentially have with all these different versions of learning a calisthenic skill is a spectrum. A spectrum where hyperfixating on any one methodology all the time will lead to plateaus at best or injuries at worst. Variation is going to be best, but not just random variation, a strategic mix where we focus on what we may be good at, but also give a lot of respect to the things that allow us to become stronger over time. So even if you enjoy holding a back lever for ages, yeah, give that your best energy, but you know what? Throw in a few chin-ups and skin the cats as well to compound your development. And if you want to learn how to build your own calisthenics program that incorporates these attributes, then check this video out right here.